Well, a Frenchman suspected of killing 3 Kurds in Paris has confessed to having a pathological hatred for foreigners. The Paris prosecutor says that the 69-year-old man has been removed from custody and taken to a police psychiatric facility. The killing of those individuals in Paris has sparked clashes between Kurds and French police. Well, for more, we're joined now by Giran Ozcan, the executive director of the Kurdish Peace Institute. Thanks very much for joining us, Giran. And first of all, talking about this attack, do you think that the Kurdish community was specifically targeted by this man?
I think that is beyond doubt at this point. Both the gunman himself and the targets that he selected confirmed that the Kurds were specifically targeted. I mean, the first target was the Kurdish Cultural Center, where he killed 2 people. All three were shot at first in the community center. The next 2 places of business that he actually enters are both Kurdish owned. And we've had statements from the police in which, as he was being detained, the gunman's first two statements were 1, how many Kurds did he kill? And second was that he hated Kurds. So I think if we look at just the whole, all the places that were targeted and the gunman's initial statements, we can clearly say at this point that Kurds were definitely the target of this attack.
And a lot of Kurdish people have gone onto social media today and have spoken about how they're feeling, about their grief. And they say, look, we're under attack. We've just been speaking about it. We're under attack in Syria. We're under attack in Iran. We're under attack in Iraqi Kurdistan. Do you think there is a real feeling of persecution among Kurds worldwide right now?
Without a doubt. I mean, the Turkish state has been very clear in expressing its disdain for Kurds anywhere and everywhere. And as you said quite rightly yourself, both in Syria, Iraq, Turkish attacks against the Kurds, especially with this latest example, show that they know no borders. The extraterritorial attacks by the Turkish state are visible for everyone to see. And especially if we look back to almost exactly 10 years ago to 2013 on January the 9th, when 3 Kurdish women politicians were assassinated only a couple of miles away from the most recent attack. The fact that this murder is still unresolved, the French government was either unable or unwilling to really solve that assassination, has shown Kurds everywhere that they are open to attack, and that the countries that they live in, whether it's in the Middle East or in Europe, are simply not doing enough to protect them from essentially what is Turkish state terrorism.
But many groups have come under attack and been victims of terrorism in France. Why has the Kurdish community kind of turned this against the French authorities?
Well, because I think they're calling on the French authorities to be responsible for their own citizens. I mean, these people, whether they are simply living in France or are also French citizens, and I believe all peoples in France, all French people are questioning their own government's ability, their own state's ability to protect them from attacks, whether they're from extremists, fundamentalists, or even lone wolves, or even if this is a racist attack. The people of France have a right to question the authorities on why the police were very late to the scene of the attack, for example, why a Kurdish cultural center that is being very closely watched by French authorities, how come this place in the middle of Paris can be attacked so blatantly, and the whole actual attack developed so slowly that a lot of people are questioning the French authorities over how much they can actually defend their own citizens, and once something like this happens, how much they are willing to go to really understand who is behind this attack. Because you can go on all day, but you cannot convince the Kurdish people that someone suddenly in France woke up and wanted to just attack the Kurdish people.
Are you worried, though, Giran, about a backlash to those scenes that we're seeing in Paris of buildings and cars being smashed up by angry people? Do you think there will be a backlash? Already you can see some Turkish activists using that online.
Yes, I can. But no, I think all Kurdish organizations have called for calm, have called on the Kurdish people to show their disdain and their anger and their mourning peacefully and democratically. And so I don't expect for similar scenes to erupt over the next few days. The Kurds are right now mourning the 3 people that were brutally killed in this attack, and will absolutely do everything in their power through the democratic and peaceful means that are available to them to really push the French government to investigate and pursue the truth, no matter where it may lead.